Hi, and welcome to the first episode of what's going to be a little series for this YouTube channel talking about dissertations. I feel like it's just not a great start because people just don't like them, to be honest, and I completely understand why, but hopefully by the end of this video you will start to feel a little bit better about it. Now, this is for anyone who's currently doing a dissertation, doing one next year, or just wants to know a little bit more about the process, and hopefully I will be able to help. So I thought it would be a good idea to take the whole process start to finish, seeing as I'm currently doing a dissertation right now. My name is Sarah, I am 23 and I'm currently doing a master's in marketing with digital strategy at Napier. So if you do have any questions about the course, the master's programme, please leave the comments down below and I can answer them for you. But for just now, I thought, why don't we just start right at the beginning? Because that is what happens. You need to come up with something to start. You don't just get given a topic, you don't get given a area to look at. It is ultimately down to you, which is so exciting. So honestly, make the most of it. The whole dissertation process is very demanding, but also very rewarding. And if you pick the best subject for you, you're onto a winner. Now, I have currently started my dissertation process, and this is the second time that I'm doing it since it's my master's, which you think would make me potentially be a little bit of a pro at it, but honestly, this time round, I feel like it's been a bit harder than the last. So the first time round, I knew my topic instantly. I really knew what I wanted to look at, and the start of it was quite easy. I would say as I went on, it became a bit harder. Whereas this time round, it's been hard from the start. I really didn't know what I wanted to look at. Doing this master's course has been completely new to me. I've come from sociology and criminology, which is a completely different field. So picking a subject that, one, I was interested in, but two, I also thought would be beneficial to the industry was really hard. I'm not going to lie to you. However, take it from me, it doesn't matter what end of the spectrum you're at, you will get to an idea and you will really enjoy it, because the dissertation process is a unique one, but it is also a really beneficial one. There's nothing quite like handed in your dissertation piece because it's yours. Everything else you've probably done in uni up till now has been guided by a lecturer or a group project, in terms of you don't have full control over the topic and the area you want to look at. However, this is different. So honestly, take advantage of it because it can be great. Now, I thought I would come up with a couple tips and tricks to help you in the process starting out into getting an idea. The first one I would look at is look at your course. What are you studying? What do you enjoy? For me, I had a little list of all the modules that I did over the year, and then I looked at what did I enjoy about them and what did I not. And I felt like that was a really good starting point into figuring out what I like to do. What sort of things am I interested in? What sort of things do I like to study? Because one thing I will say is this is a long piece of work. At the moment, mine is currently 15,000 words. Yours could be a little bit less. However, you're doing a lot of researching, a lot of typing, no matter the word count. So you want this to be right. You don't want to look at something that you're not interested in at all. So make a list of all your modules. Look at them and think, what do I like about them and what do I not? And from that, you'll get different topics and different theories. Write these down so you've got a note of them so you can then build your dissertation around them. Dissertations are split into qualitative and quantitative. Now, my definitions aren't professional, however, qualitative is very much word-based. You're finding out about a problem, you're going out and you're speaking to people, whereas quantitative is numbers. You've got surveys, you've got statistics. Now, you can mix the both of them, which is called a mixed methods dissertation. However, most of the time people pick one or the other. Have a little Google and figure out, what do you want to do? What sort of methods do you want to do within your dissertation, and how do you want to collect your data if you are doing so? Would you like to do interviews and focus groups and speak to people and really be in amongst your data? Or do you want to be doing surveys and questionnaires and doing things electronically? That's something you really need to consider, and I think it's a good starting point into figuring out what avenue you want to take your dissertation down. For me, I knew that I wanted to do qualitative, so anything numerical, statistical was in the bin for me. It's just a no-go. And I think you definitely need to work on your strengths. I definitely work better when I'm speaking to people as opposed to trying to figure out a solution through numbers or through statistics. So for me, qualitative was the way to go. Now that piece of advice is very generic, however, it works wonders. I know for a start that if I went down the route of quantitative, I just wouldn't have been able to do one as well or two enjoyed it as much. And this ultimately is a project which you want to enjoy. Again, another thing that might not perhaps help pick your idea, but it definitely will help you in the right direction, is look at the supervisors within your field. Now, I know a lot of people who have created a great relationship with their tutors and they've wanted to be able to carry that through into their dissertation process. There's nothing wrong with looking at the lecturers within your degree and seeing what they like to research. Just make sure that it is suited to you and you're not just picking it because of them. Now, this piece of advice might seem really weird, but honestly, bear with me because it's got me to where I am today. So, look at your life outside of university. What do you enjoy? What's your job? What are your hobbies, your interests? What sort of music do you listen to? What sort of clothes do you wear? All these little things that you might think, oh, but trust me, they have a place in your academic studies as well. For me, I wrote down a list of everything I was interested in. Some things like these contained music, fashion. Also really enjoyed my undergrad of sociology, and it's made me question things. So I looked and made a little mind map, and I thought, is there a way I could look at this in the marketing field? And that has got me to where I am now. My master's dissertation currently is looking at advertising of male grooming products and figuring out from the advancements that these have made, does there need to be a more feminine approach to marketing men's fashion? For me, I really like spending my money on clothes. I have a big interest in it. I'm also very into makeup and health products, and I thought this would be very interesting to look at from a male's perspective and also to see what the marketing industry could be doing better at. Your dissertation is ultimately trying to fill a gap. It's looking at what's already there and saying that you're going to add to this. So you can't just replicate a study or something that's already out there because you're not bringing anything to the table. Now, that doesn't need to be a big hole that needs to be filled. This could just be you're going to look at a study that's been done in another country and you're going to do it here and see if the data is different. However, there does need to be something that you're contributing to your degree field, whatever that may be. And from doing so, I think, again, it would be a really good idea if you looked at what's already out there. There's loads of different journals, online libraries, and resources that you can access all online through a laptop or a phone, and you can see within your field, desired area, what is already there. Dissertation in particular, I realised that there's a lot of research that's already been conducted within the male grooming industry and advertising for it. Now, that's great, but when I was looking at men's fashion and the marketing to that, there doesn't seem to be a lot of genderless fashion and a more feminine approach to fashion. It would be really beneficial for you before you actually finalise your subject to look and see if this has already been done before. There might be hundreds and hundreds of studies that already replicate your own one, which means that you're probably not going to be able to bring something new. By looking at what's already out there, you can see the gap, you can see what needs to be filled, you can see what needs to change. This can give you inspiration, this can give you something to work on, and this can give you a starting base. Looking at what has been successful in your field can ultimately shape your idea. You can take bits and pieces from different ones and put them together, and then you've picked successful research, but you're making it your own. These are a few little tips that I think could start in the dissertation process. Trust me, it's really hard, I know, but you will get there. Figure out everything you like, whether that's outside of uni or inside of uni, and figure out what sort of study you would like to conduct. By doing this, the process will become a lot easier, and trust me, those 1,000 words will just come flying in. So I hope this has helped. Take all inspiration from everything online, whether that's news articles, TikTok videos, Instagram photos. Everything you see is a reflection of what's going on in reality today. And there's nothing more important than writing about something that you enjoy and that is currently topical at the moment. So hopefully these tips have helped, and I will see you for the next episode. Thanks so much for watching.